A new warning from intelligence officials that the biggest threat to the 4th of July celebrations this weekend are likely from lone wolf attacks. The FBI and Homeland Security saying they are especially concerned about individuals inspired by recent events, including the situation in the Middle East, the New Year's Day attack that we saw in New Orleans. Authorities say big crowds, the most likely targets, and they're urging everyone to do what you know we are supposed to do now, which is stay alert, report anything suspicious. Intelligence bulletins from the FBI and Homeland Security mention New York City and also San Francisco specifically, reading in part that we remain concerned that these malicious actors and violent extremists may attempt to create public safety hazards using weapons, chemical irritants, bodily fluids, or other hazardous materials, and enter and disrupt designated event areas that are closed to public access. With us now, NewsNation law and justice correspondent Jennifer Coffindaffer, former FBI special agent. I mean, this is just the way of life now, right? The threat of lone wolves, I mean, that's always going to be there. Is it heightened now, though, given global events?
Well, it is heightened, and it's statistically heightened. If you look over the past 5 years, 93% of attacks in the West have been by lone wolves. So this is very significant, and the FBI is well aware of this. Also, compared to 2024, moving to 23, moving to 2024, attacks went from only 32 up to 52, and this is very significant.
So big events. What are things that authorities behind the scenes will be looking for and monitoring for a credible threat?
Well, the first thing is they have to make a safe environment for the individuals that are going to these events. That means blockades so vehicles can't enter, like what happened in New Orleans. That means increased individuals that are law enforcement that are looking out for threats. You're looking for everything from backpacks being left to suspicious activity of individuals, sometimes people dressed in inordinately warm clothing, if you will, yet it's the 4th of July. Also, just how they move. Are they leaving anything in trash cans that look particularly, wrong, out of place, just like what happened in New Orleans? So you're looking for these sorts of indications.
The public plays such a key role in its own safety, looking out for all the things that you just said, but also when you show up to big events and knowing where the exits are, what routes you would take if something were to happen. I mean, it's really daunting to have to think that way, but what we do.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Marnie. And I always say this isn't a time to be paranoid. It's just time to be on the ready. In other words, looking and aware of your surroundings. How can you get out of a particular corridor that you might be in if something bad were to happen? Are you looking to make sure that the street blockades are in proper location? And if not, you can notify somebody. How about social media? Have you seen anything coming across your social media that is wrong, where people are threatening or doing something? I see it all the time. When you do, you need to report it.
What about the use of drones? I mean, investigators, law enforcement are using drones to try to prevent something like this, but the bad guys have drones too. How does that complicate and influence preparedness?
Well, it complicates, and I always highly recommend that individuals who know how to use drones and have drones, whatever you do, don't use them in this type of an event. That often happens, trying to be the good guy and help out, and it only confuses law enforcement. So it's complicated, Marnie, anytime the bad guys have the same thing the good guys have.
Any more light you can shed on the specifics of New York and San Francisco in this latest alert, why they would call out those cities for 4th of July gatherings?
Yeah, absolutely. So the FBI always has an intelligence base that it works on, and it's constantly receiving different indications about threats throughout the United States at different times. Certainly, the 4th of July is a big time, Marnie. When you hear that specificity, that tells me that maybe there has been some indication in those particular cities that they could be targeted. So I would be extra vigilant if you're in those cities and plan to go to a parade.
All right, stay alert, say something if you see something. We want to see lots of dancing people on parade routes and celebrating the 4th of July without any sort of violence. Jennifer, good to see you. Have a great holiday, a safe one.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.